Welcome to A Foundation Focus. I'm Amber George, joined by Tennyson Middle School Atlas teacher and Education Foundation grant winner Jane Sykes here in Bruceville Eddy, Texas at the Nature's Classroom Institute. Miss Sykes, tell me a little bit about the grant that you wrote called NCI. What brings us out here in Bruceville Eddy?
NCI, Nature's Classroom Institute, is a national organization that brings outdoor education in math, science, social studies, history, ecology, botany, constellations of the stars at night, astronomy. NCI takes those disciplines and brings the Texas TEKS, because it's all Texas education standards based, into the outdoor education.
Now, the students that you have today, they are 7th graders from Atlas Academy, and they are here Monday through Wednesday. Can you walk us through some of the things that they're doing in small group and large group?
Certainly. We have lessons, I call them lessons, they call them fun activities, from breakfast clear until bedtime. For example, at breakfast we discuss ORT, which is food selection portion sizes that they have selected, which they don't eat, and we've discussed all the nutrition and the energy it takes to make the spaghetti at lunch, for example, and then not eat it. What has that done to our nature system? We have classes. I have my notes here. They had yesterday morning, Monday morning, they had class on wetlandia. They have a wetlands here. Castles, which was the history of castles and what would make your castle stronger than someone else's, and then they had a battle. Emergency responders, all the first aid and things like that out in the woods. Fungus among us. Did you know that you can eat certain kinds of mushrooms? And then they went out mushroom hunting and brought back specimens. Egg drop, they talked about the business of building a contraption and then drop an egg and so it wouldn't break. They had Night at the Improv, which we are doing today, exhibiting certain characteristics of Row, Row, Row Your Boat, as well as other songs. They had Hunger Games, which is really a survival, not what it sounds like. It's survival skills. And then the ABCs of ecology. This afternoon will be predator versus prey. They will become hawks, grasshoppers, flies, lizards, snakes, and they will go with their counselors out into the woods and they will capture in the order of the food chain.
How amazing. Now, I also understand there's a little competition here, boys versus girls, and energy consumption. Can you tell us about this strict energy competition?
Behind me are the monodomes called ecodomes, and where we're sleeping at night. There's 18 of us can fit in one of these domes, and they are built to withstand heat and air conditioning and to stay cool in the summer and warm in the winter. And energy conservation. They're measuring the energy consumption, and at the end of our 2.5 days here, the boys or the girls, whoever uses the less energy, will receive a prize. And they are going so far as to fuss at me when I didn't turn out the lights and to unscrew the nighttime motion light bulbs, which I quickly screwed back in.
Well, but it's good to see that they're thinking and
Yes.
finding creative ways to address their problems and win.
Yes.
We are now going to get an inside tour of the monolithic dome, and I'm joined by
Kimberly Hernandez.
and
Haley Scott.
okay, ladies, are you ready to show us your home away from home?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so this is it.
Yes.
Yeah. How many beds are in here?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There are 18 beds.
Ooh, and it echoes in the middle. Can y'all hear?
Yeah, it echoes.
And whenever you're on top of the bed, you can hear all the way across the room.
So at night, do these lights stay on?
No, we try to preserve as much as light as we can whenever we're not inside of the dome.
Well, what did you think? Is this what you thought your camping was going to look like?
No, not at all. I didn't think we were going to sleep in a dome like this. But I like it.
Good. Have you ever been camping before?
No.
First time?
Kinda.
So, well, it's a lot better than a tent, I promise. So, thank you so much for letting us see what it looks like.
You're
You're welcome.
Now, can you tell us a little bit, why did you write this grant, and what would have happened if the Education Foundation hadn't stepped in with the money? how would this group, and I know that also tomorrow you're going to have another group of 40 students come, how would they have gotten to experience NCI?
Little history there. This is our third, I call it third annual. The first year we came as a one-day camp. It was the first year NCI had leased this fabulous property, and then we came as a day camp to see what it was really like. And we were able, it was not expensive. The students were able to afford that, and then we did some small fundraising. Then last year we decided to kick it up a notch, and now we did the 2-night, 2.5-day camp. It is pricey. So after no grant last year, because I didn't think to write the grant, and we did all kinds of fundraising, and it was very difficult to fundraise for that many students. This year I wrote the grant, we were given the grant, and it reduced the cost by half. So these students were able to come up with the money. A lot of them did some fundraising before. We're going to continue doing fundraising after, and honestly, without the grant, I don't think we'd be able to do the 2-night, 2.5-day stay.
Can you talk a little bit about the difference? I know that you've said you've had a lot of phone calls going out to home. The students have their cell phones taken up when they come in, but they have access to yours. And there's a lot more phone calls going home than the parents calling and touching base.
First thing I did was when I wrote my final letter to the parents, I said, thank you for letting me have your children for 2 nights, for trusting me to have your children for 2 nights. And it's been amazing. There had been more phone calls, can I call my mama, than I have had moms calling me. And it's so sweet to see the kids tell their mamas, I love you, and their little 3-year-old brothers say, I love you.
Well, we are so glad that you had us out here. We are so glad that you took the time to write the grant. Not everybody wants to volunteer for a week-long trip into a dome, with students, but you're an amazing science teacher. Thank you for enriching the lives of the students at Tennyson, and thank you for your donations to the Waco ISD Education Foundation that make classroom grants like this possible. If you would like to know more about the Education Foundation, please visit us online at www.wacoisdfoundation.org or call 254-755-9517. Thank you for watching WISD TV. I'm Amber George. Learners today, leaders tomorrow.